Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Hangout podcast, season 3, episode 6. And I am here with an amazing guy that's got a lot to talk about. Ron, and I'm going to butcher your name, so you're going to have to help me out with that one.
Last name is Breitenbach.
I would have gotten close. That's awesome. So we were just talking about where you were at. And so you're in Seattle right now, in Washington.
Yes.
Sorry, not Seattle, Washington.
Same area, just north of Seattle, maybe 25 minutes.
Good deal. Or is it business or pleasure?
Business.
Awesome. What are you doing up there?
So there's a couple that are very power couple, in real estate investing. And I met with them, and they're actually in Denver right now because they were asked to go speak at the Final Percent event as speakers. Real estate investing, self-development, kind of really cool stuff.
Nice.
Greg Kimball is just a great guy, his wife and his little boy. But it's all revolves around purple. So I told them, I said, let's try and grow Denver, Seattle, and Phoenix all together. Let's just all put ourselves together. He's like, man, I like this. This is a good idea. Let's figure it out how we can grow our communities back up again.
I like it. That's great. So you're up there on some business and stuff. So Ron, tell the listeners kind of like what you do, what your mission is, and what do you want to talk about. And that way, I love real estate, as you and I already figured out. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
So day in and day out, I was looking to help people grow their money faster than retirement. Or a lot of people don't understand that, like maybe a traditional 401k, right, is third custodian, controlled. And it's like, you could take maybe a loan from it, even if you are still working, put some of that money in a self-directed, and you're in control of it. And you tell yourself where you want to put the money, like maybe real estate investing. If someone has a 401k still like in the rafters that they, left their job, I kind of help them show, look, you can grow it a lot faster than an old traditional 401k by owning rentals or short-term rentals, whatever. And that's day in and day out. That's my mission, to help people grow their money, kind of get the old American dream owned, right? And it doesn't matter. It could be 5 doors, could be a 5-plex. That's a commercial piece of property, right? To own 5, 8, 12 doors and, replacing maybe your income per month that you are, punching a clock, trading time for dollars. People are like, I can do that. Yeah. Let me show you how. So that's kind of my fun way of helping people grow their money, or show them how to grow their money. Hey, you want my help? That's fine. I'm not licensed other than do work on airplanes and drive a car, but been an investor for 14 years. So kind of got some creative strategies. Yeah.
That's cool. I think that's great, because I think, it's like education. Like, people just don't know options, They're conservative. They think, no, let's leave my money with my stockbroker or my financial my financial planner, which, obviously those are all smart things to do. But at the same time, while opportunities are out there, you can also use some of your money to make that work for you.
Right. For sure. Well, think about it too, Keely, right? If you have it in a 401k or, another organization like a big financial firm, when you want your money, you got to call, email, and wait 24 to 48 hours. What if you need it today? You know what I mean? You need to access your money sometimes the same day. So you shouldn't have to wait for your money to get it out of a big financial institution, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that is true. Right. So how long have you been, like, to give it a little bit about your experience and kind of like where you're at with things? And so that way I can kind of ask a couple questions.
Yes, for sure. Well, we've got a problem in the United States, being that you love commercial real estate, right? There's a bunch of office buildings sitting vacant. So what do we do with all this real estate? Yeah. Why don't we convert it into residential? You know what I mean? So get in contact with the principalities, the county, the city, and just say, hey, there may be banks, mortgage, somebody's failing, maybe the owner not even paying taxes. So why don't we consider coming up with a plan to making it a mixed use property? Like the bottom floor could be retail, and then, a couple floors up could be office or medical, and then the top floors could be residential or something. Things need to turn around a little bit because a lot of people are working from home and remotely now. I think a lot of people might be going back to the office, but I mean, I think the last number in New York City, I think it's only 14% of the square feet being utilized in all office space. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's also getting creative because I drive around and I see like, well, actually like Phoenix, this is a good one. I was in Phoenix at the $1 Million Mingle last week, you know, and driving, and there is the ugliest, it's always done poorly. Well, maybe not always, but for 20 years it's done poorly. It's like this outlet mall that is godforsaken, ugly. And it's empty. It's been empty for, I bet you, 5 years.
Facelift. Yep.
I get it. It needs it worse than a facelift. But, you know, there is things that can be done with that. So I'm always thinking, okay, now like what can be done about it? You know, what could be converted to that? But if there's a will, there's a way, and something's got to be done. So I like where your head's at. I like where you're going with it.
Yeah, even like a strip mall, like an abandoned old grocery store or whatever. You think about it, if you could put walls in there and put, like a couple shower or sewer systems in there, you could almost convert that property into like a split padding thing or a travel nursing thing, or, just so many different exit strategies you can do with commercial real estate property. It's really awesome.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. And it's, again, so about the group that you're with now, it sounds to me like you guys kind of like match made in heaven. You came together, you both got all the same goals and missions and ideas and stuff. How did you guys meet? I think it's important that people know that, because I like to give people the idea of like, listen, get off the couch and get out there and meet people, and this is how you make business happen.
Right. I will tell you, I'm okay with doing, meetings online, but the most effective way is we call it 3-foot rule, belly to belly business. I mean, if you're going to go out and talk to a homeowner or a client or a business person, when it involves money, you want to see eye contact. You want to shake their hand. You want to literally draw it out on paper. This is what it's going to look like. If I write you a prescription, would you follow it? So I'll be honest with you. I was an aerospace mechanic for 14 years and just pivoted into real estate. But I actually signed up to get my business management degree, and I literally answered a Craigslist ad. The next day I signed up for college, and here I am at the Jewish Center, and they're showing me all the classes that I could take, to get into real estate investing. So we've built like an ecosystem around that education, because the first question out of our mouth, are you an education holder? And the reason why is they want to make sure that you and the other person know the same information so we can do business. Because if let's say you just enrolled as a student and just started your classes, right? Have you finished your classes? Because if you haven't, you're still a novice. I want you to get up to where I am in advance, so both of us have the same ideas. I don't want to coach you or put you under my wing. That's not my job. I can mentor you, but you know what I mean? I'm not the teacher. Like, get all your stuff advanced in your knowledge in your head, and let's go to work and get some properties and help people and grow money. That's how I got involved in this community. So every year we do a national convention of all us real estate investors every year in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Which one is it?
700 of my best friends,
Yeah. Yeah. Which one is it?
So it's called Renatus. It's the Latin word for rebirth. So
okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I like what you were saying, because so for example, I suppose with my business in a box, right? There's coaching that's involved in it. So I help entrepreneurs start their business and rapidly scale and grow. So I don't teach you, for example, how to get your contractor's license, right? And you don't have to have a contractor's license. But again, and it's still a good program, but it's a service-based business, right? It's
Right.
all about the training, the coaching, the sales training, having your CRM and having all that stuff together. But at the same time, I like what you had said, which is like, I'm not going to teach you. This is not, real estate 101 where, you're still trying to go and get your license. This is now you've got it. You've got some experience. You've done the work to get up to my speed. Now let me help you.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I like that. Yeah. So, all right. So now then how did you team up? How are you partnering up with people and how are you, how are you marketing to them and stuff? What would you say to somebody that says, hey, Ron, I'd like to learn more and maybe join your team?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some essentials courses, which is kind of like the real estate 101. They're foundation courses, and you got to start with a foundation. You can't start with if you go to brain surgery, you're not going to go take a 404 class and then go back to do a 101 class, right?
Yeah.
The foundation classes are very important. Negotiations, credit acquisitions, personal credit is in there. Tax and legal, you got to know you're doing your paperwork correctly. How are you speaking to people or attorneys or high-end investors? So marketing to novice people, you got to be able to have the heart to take the risk and challenge yourself, invest in yourself to really get to the next spot or position in your life to make it. If you don't have the capacity to challenge yourself and you're not a risk taker, maybe real estate's not good for you. Now, it's okay because there's levels of different investors, right? We've got the conservative investor, we've got the major risk taker, and then you say like, well, I want to make my money over time, like long-term rental. Okay, perfect. Or a land development deal like Carrie and Mike Skurdla. I'm sure you heard their name. They found an investor. They're building 40 homes in Idaho, right?
Yeah.
So the land and the development is this amount of money, but this is the profit after all the homes are sold. It's like, well, so there's projects out there like that you can involve. I mean, I'm doing fix and flips. Did one in 1 month. It's on the market. I've got a $68,000 potential profit, right? So there's hard money lender out there. There's private money lenders out there. There's some people that are just so busy with their business, like a doctor or a pilot or somebody that just wants to say, I'd rather not put my money in Vanguard or Fidelity or something, but hey, you're a small business owner. I trust you. We're in a one-on-one basis. And when I call you, you pick up the phone. Exactly. So I feel safe for parking my money with you in a real estate, deal. Just FYI, right? My attorney I've known for 14 years. He's finally in his first deal with me. So that's funny. I don't know if he had to wait that long or he just finally had some more money. I don't know, but Dave's
what? I think it is because, so when I was in commercial real estate, I always say people have got an appetite for investment. And now that's not just in real estate, that's in business, that's in traditional stocks, bonds, everything like that. Right. But you've got to, so I would kind of interview like the potential buyer investor. Like, okay, tell me a little bit about you. Cause then I know what kind of real estate you're looking for. Are you looking for single families? Are you looking for A, B properties? Are you looking for C, D? What kind of properties are you looking for? So like a doctor, like you said, they don't have the time. They're not going to go out and fix toilets and and pavers, right? They're not going to do it. So they need the A's and B's and they need it to be managed. But I did really, really well with selling to, and this is something you might take this on as tip, selling to the fire department, because those guys have some extra cash, right? They're doing really well with their jobs, but they also have 10 days out of the month off. Every single 10 days. Every single month they got 10 days off. So, and typically they have side jobs. So you've got them so that every single one of them, there's a painter, there's a fixer, there's a maintenance guy, there's a plumber, there's a tax guy. All of them have them. So they know each other and they've got the maintenance is well handled. So, but I did really, really super well with the fire department and selling to those type of investors.
Yeah, I like to service men and women, right? Police officers, firefighters, because I know they work very hard for their money. So And veterans, right? I've got a Marine buddy of mine that he never even knew he could use his VA loan or something. I mean, he was renting for 23 years. So that was kind of a success story on my part. It's like, Daryl, why are you still renting? You've never used your VA benefits? No, I was a liaison at Alliance Home Loans way back when. I said, fill out this loan paperwork, dude. He handed it back. I hand walked it into the loan officer.
Yeah.
He was super excited. Ron, I found my house and they gave me money back at close. See?
Oh my God.
I mean, it just, that's firefighters, families, police officers.
Yep.
Like, if you even want to grow your money or find a house, I mean, I'm not an agent, but I've got enough resources. Yeah. Well, I could probably find you that cream puff home or the cabin in the woods or a beach house, whatever.
Yeah. And it's like, you know what, Ron, when I was in real estate, I wasn't the one that took Mr. and Mrs. Jones in my back car and went out looking for houses. That was not me. In fact, I really actually hated doing that. But I did do it with clients that had, like my friends that referred me. That was a different story. Because then there was already some glue and they know each other and, you know, that kind of thing. But I think the educating them of, like, for example, a veteran safe, and now, you know, with my kids, I'm like, listen, your first home needs to be like a duplex or a triplex, right? Because that's how you're going to use your first time home buyers and or your VA, you know, your VA benefits. You can always stay in it a couple of years and then keep it, but then roll it over to something else. And I always think that's a great investment.
And it's awesome too, right? Because if you do have and want to build the family legacy business, real estate's the best place to park your money, because when you die, you put the trust or the deed in a trust and you inherit that trust to your kids or grandkids. Right. And those properties continue to be inherited all through bloodlines forever.
Exactly.
Right? What did I hear the other day? Someone told me, I don't know, a property over in Italy or England or something. They signed a 9,000-year lease.
Oh my God, a 9,000! I've never heard of that.
And it's still the same, you know, 3.2 shillings or something.
Like, oh my gosh, that is so funny.
It's so hilarious. So funny. Like, nobody thought of inflation back then, huh?
Oh my heck, that's wow. Somebody's cursing themselves on that one.
Crazy. And it's a lot of land, and they built on it. I mean, it's nuts.
Wow, that is cool. So tell me a little bit about, like, all right, so now this is the first time you've heard, hey, I didn't know that I could use my 401k to invest in real estate or something like that. What would you say to somebody like, all right, now I'm going to have a cup of coffee with you. I'm going to meet with you. Give me kind of the thing of what would be I'm going to say 401k buying real estate 101. What would be some easy things for you to tell people?
Yes, this is a good question, because we do have a self-directed retirement plan class, right? I got 90 courses that people can a la carte whenever they want. But me sitting down with them and say, okay, your 401k is not doing much, or, you know, if we go back, you know, you've got 50 grand in there and you've only made $900 to $1,900 over the year. And I have to explain to them, I says, the stockbroker over wherever you parked your money, those guys are trading your money on the up and down on a binary system. It don't matter if you lose money or make money, they're still making money. So it don't matter if it's 3 cents or $30, that company's making money. Why do you think Fidelity and Vanguard, all these guys have big buildings? Just like banks, right? It's others people's money that they profit on to benefit their corporation. Well, that's kind of an American dream and a business owner anyway. But let's scale it down to you. Why not you make those profits and move money around in real estate or whatever? So Matt Sorensen is our instructor. He is in Scottsdale. And it's pretty awesome that the actual government on self-directed retirement plans call him when they need help. Like, he's that smart of a guy. So just real quick. So if you did have a 401k, I would say, please move it into a self-directed retirement plan. Could be a Roth IRA, whatever, as long as it's self-directed. And then that financial institution, like say Mountain America Credit Union, their financial company is going to call me, the LLC owner. We're going to create a document, say, okay, I want to make 4, 6, 8, 10% of my money. We create that document, we get it over to the financial institution. They say, okay, you agreed upon it, sign it, and then your self-directed retirement plan loans my company, the LLC, money, and then I secure your money with the deed of trust against that property. In case something happens to me, it clouds title, that home or whatever gets sold on the property, you will always get your money in your return. Always. It's in contract law. That's why I said in the beginning, tax and legal is very important. I want everybody to know the documents. I want to know your money's safe and protected through a piece of paper in the property. I really don't even touch the money sometimes. It just goes here to here into the property, and that's it. So
that's awesome. So what would you say? What do you find people asking? Well, doesn't that sound like really, it sounds really risky, or it sounds a little shady, or it sounds, that, because I think people just need to be more educated.
It really is. Education is really the big piece, right? I always tell people to reduce risk, get the education, right? So you understand it. I could sit here and explain everything to you. Do you feel confident or you don't? You have to flip the coin. Are you confident with me and your money to put it into this investment? And if you're not, then I would say, then you need to get educated so you know exactly what I'm saying is the truth. And then you go do your own research and due diligence and go talk to financial planners, attorneys, whatever. So that way you can come back to me and say, okay, what you told me, Ron, is true, right? I always tell people that I'm not going to put your money in this, an investment property unless you are confident and you can risk the money. I'm not going to take someone's mortgage money and put it in an investment. Like it's got to be savings or 401k or, hey, I just got an inheritance. What do I do with it? I'll help you figure that out, Yeah.
So I know you talked a little bit about your courses. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that it'd be fine to see, and you guys will make sure that you've got links to Ron's courses, how to find them, because that's how you learn. So talk to a little bit about your courses and how people find them.
The most affordable thing that we've actually put together for people is a 7-day guided tour. It's $50, right? It's advanced knowledge that you were not taught in high school or college. I can guarantee you. I've actually had some ASU students go, man, they're not teaching us this in college, Ron. I says, I know. It's not that they don't want you to learn it. It's just where to find the content. So all of our instructors have had to prove they make $1 million in what they teach annually, or they can't be an instructor, period. Okay. So for $50, a 7-day guided tour, you're going to get an email every single day. It's only a 20-minute segment of one of our courses that actually teach you knowledge that's going to help you right now in your life.
That's awesome.
Personal credit, the self-directed retirement plans. Here's how to reduce risk with your money. There might even be a little bit of tax and legal and personal credit in there. So, because here, I'll even give you a tidbit what's in the $50 test drive. Do you know, and you may even like this, Keely, right? So when you get a statement for your credit card, right? When they print it and give it to you, the day that reports is the day your bill is due. If you pay that bill 3 days before, when they report and send your statement out, your amount of money is down. So what does that do? That raises your credit score. So don't pay it on the due date. Pay it 3 days or 3 to 5 days before, depending on the weekend.
Before the due date. Okay, I like that.
Before they report, that brings your credit score up.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I like it. Right? That's good. Thanks.
And then the DTIs, right? If you have a $1,000 credit card, I always tell people never bring it below 33 or 34%. I always think you only have $700 to invest with or spend on gas, groceries, or whatever. But try and maintain $333 on a $1,000 credit card so your credit score never slips below what you want it to be. And that's in this little $50 test drive. They'll
that's cool. So when you say your instructors have to be able to make $1 million, from what they teach on the courses. I'm assuming what you mean is they're putting their money where their mouth is, which is like, this is what I do, this is what I teach, but I'm also doing it, you know.
Correct.
And that to me, I love, because I'm like, the last thing I want to do is have somebody teach me something that they have no clue what the hell they're talking about. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like a coach that's, you know, because I do a lot of coaching. That's true. I like to say I'm a mentor better than a coach, just because I think that the coaches are just like a dime a dozen. And some people out there, and I don't mean this even disrespectfully, I'm just like, listen, my dog can teach coaching better than you can. It's like, you don't, just because you went and got a certificate doesn't mean you've got life experiences to help somebody with this particular problem.
Right. It is for sure. And I agree with you. Yeah. So, you know, just like I said, the personal credit instructor, he owns his own company. He owns Credit Nerds out of Arkansas. This guy has funded over $130 million to do education with us. Like, you can get a free funding assessment through his company. And yes, he makes $1 million a year to continue instructing on personal credit with our organization. So
I think that's brilliant, Ron. Yes. I think that's brilliant. I'd love to be able to. So, you know, the Entrepreneurs Hangout has well, I have a podcast, but I also have a group. So we meet monthly every Wednesday, the last Wednesday of every month. So I like to have instructors teaching and talking about things that people want to know and want to learn. And I think personal credit score and personal credit would be an amazing topic.
Right. Okay. I can reach out to Eric Counts and see.
I'd love it. I'd love to. I'd love to be able to talk with him and stuff like that. And just you know, I record all the entrepreneur hangouts. The last one we had a guy teaching AI and marketing, which was really super interesting. But you know, we're always looking for different topics, because entrepreneurship is, you know, is where we're all going to make ourselves. It is our financial freedom. That's to me, that's the only way that I know, you know, how I'm going to be able to be financially free. And that includes learning. That includes financial literacy.
It does. That's the whole thing revolving around it. People, I'm no good at sales. I'm sure you asked mom and dad, can I have a cookie or a lollipop in the grocery store? You were playing salesman when you were a kid, and they go, oh, I was. Right? So financial literacy is part of being that salesman sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good point, because some people think that a hard sale is a hard sale, and it's like, or I can't sell. Well, yes, you can, because you're a bubbly person, or you're a person that's, you know, selling isn't an evil thing. It's actually, it's what you sell and how you sell it and who you sell it to. Because if I don't need what you're selling, well, then, yeah, that's one of those things. But if I learn that what you have, I really do need, that's really like, you're just being a blessing to somebody.
Right. That's the goal for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
So that is great. Ron, I am so happy to be able to talk with you. And, you know, I would love to learn more. Again, put your course, like how people can, you can even email it to me, and I'll make sure that in the show notes, when my wonderful VA tidies them all up, that these notes are in there so people know how to find your courses.
Okay, sounds good. There's one link right there in the chat if you want it.
Awesome. You got it. I love it. I will get it and make sure that it's all there. And so have a fun time in Washington, and I hope you make lots of money.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Keely. You're amazing. I love it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Right.
All right, you guys, guess what now? You remember, same time next week, the Entrepreneurs Hangout podcast is the Wednesday at 3 p.m. EST. And if you're looking to be a guest on my show, hit me up. And there's lots of ways to find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. And you can always email me, and I will get you on the show. Thanks. Bye for now.
See ya.